Hey yo, what's poppin'? What's up? What's good? All right, it's a video. Unhinged rant, another one. We back at it again. Welcome back to an unfathomably, uncrazily, unflipped, flip to the left, to the right, up and down, maybe to the back side, maybe to the right, maybe to the down, and maybe take a bite. All right. Anyways. What am I even talking about? It's not a hinge rant. In fact, it's actually a totally amazingly, super normally, amazingly, fabulously, crazily normal rant. Actually, you could even call it a hinged rant. Like a door, it's a fully hinged rant. You could even call it that. So today, I'm trying to talk about like I'm trying to talk about some stuff, it's unhinged. It's unscripted. We're trying to talk about why you need to take a loss sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna need to take that loss. You know what I mean? Now, one loss is too great. We can talk about that. But sometimes you're gonna have to take that loss. I'll give an example off rip. I've been making these videos on this channel. And there's a part of me that's been thinking, what if I made what the people wanted me to make? Now, what would happen if I did that? Sure, I might have won something, and that would be the approval of man. But even then, I probably wouldn't even get the approval of man. Even if I did get the approval of man, because let's be honest, I've made videos that are for people, and I got what that reward is, at least semi what it looks like. I got like a taste of what it looks like, and it didn't look very good. So I'm just saying, yeah, it didn't look very good. I wasn't really excited about that one. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, if I get that reward, it's like, you know what I'm saying, like, but even at the end of the day, it's like, why do you want that goal so bad if you're gonna, in exchange, in exchange for getting the approval of man, it's the hey, I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up. What will you do? What will you sell? What will you gain? What do you hope to gain? What will you do? What price is your soul? What will you do for that money? You gonna sell your soul for it? What will you do for that appreciation of man? Will you sell your soul for that? You know what I mean? What will you do to get what you want? Are you willing to sell your soul in the process, is what I'm trying to say. Is that what you're willing to do? Is that what you're willing to do to get what you can gain in the world? And that's why I say take your losses. Take your loss in the world to win in the spiritual. Take your loss in the world to win in the kingdom of God. Take your loss. Take your loss. Now, this doesn't mean just lose at everything, not, win it, like, not even try to do anything right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that ain't what I'm trying to say. All I'm saying is, those necessary losses, as in maybe those ones you can't control, maybe those ones from decisions you make. Maybe you make a decision and you're like, okay, this is the right decision. I believe this is the right decision. And what comes from it is a natural consequence that is coming from those actions, right? When that happens, man, hey, sometimes you just gotta take it. Some things matter more, bro. Some things matter more. For me, with these videos, what matters to me is getting the message out. So even if I made a video that's like, of course I do want to make, some heavily edited videos. More of my effort into edited videos has been spent on my main channel, to be honest. So on this channel, I'm not even like thinking like crazy, like I know what's going to happen on this channel. I mean, I've been thinking about doing like some skits, see what happens with that. Kind of just experimenting around, to be honest. Kind of working on some stuff. Kind of like, I go back and forth. Well, maybe I want to make this, and I'm still figuring it out. But for now, I'm just doing these. But I've been doing more of the edited stuff on my other channel. So go ahead and check that out if you want to see some edited stuff. It's still faith content, just based around gaming somehow. Either way, What I'm trying to say is, on this channel, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just upload. We uploading, we doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what I'm doing. You know, it's like my main purpose is to get the word out. So, I mean, I could put effort into the video. I could not put effort into the video. Sometimes I like to, sometimes I don't. But it kind of goes back to the theme of my other video, after we talk about this point, where it's like, what video was this that I made? It was a theme where I said, it was one of those that I said, be yourself or something. Yeah, it was that video. I'm not going to repeat the topic, but that was basically what I said in that video. I said, oh, make sure you be yourself. If your type of content that you create is this type of content, maybe the type of content you create, the thing that you're good at is talking on the spot, then maybe don't do a script. Maybe you're someone who's good at editing, do editing. If you're someone who's good on the fly, be on the fly, you know? So I'm not going to force myself to do this or that or that or this. I'm not going to force myself to not edit. I'm not going to force myself to edit. I'm not going to force myself to do this type of video or not to do that video or do that video, not this. Whatever it is, I'm not going to force myself. I'm going to do whatever feels right. And that's exactly what that video is about. I'm not going to go into that. We're going to go more into the general theme of this topic. This is just kind of like what I was trying to say. This is a catalyst to the main topic. So the main topic is actually more about, and why I use this example, is to say it's more about making sure that you realize that to do certain things, you're going to take a loss. That's why I use the example. That I'm going to lose viewers. Not putting tons of editing, not putting tons of, big stuff. Whenever I do edit, I don't be going crazy with it anyways. But, not trying to like market it heavily towards a certain specific type of viewer. Like this happens, Sometimes you just don't do that. Like, and I feel like you shouldn't be putting your mindset on how many people I can get to my video, but more on how can I be authentic to myself in the video, right? And that's why I'm saying this, because there's a lot of people who are gonna be like, "Hey, I don't like the content you releasing, bro. Do something else, bro. Do something else, bro." They want to silence you, bro. They want to say, "Stop the gospel, bro. Stop the God talk, bro. All right, stop that, man. Talk about something else. Talk about something else. I ain't trying to do all that. All right? I ain't trying to talk about something else. All right? I'm talking about what I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But that's already a video. But once we get here's the main topic. Sometimes you're going to have points in your life where you got to make a decision, and you got to choose. You got to choose this or that. We'll get into another video that I made, but let's not go too into that. But mainly, there are going to be choices where you will lose. You will lose. You will lose something in the world. You will lose something in the world. You have to choose to lose that thing in the world if it can gain you something within the spiritual, within the non-physical, within the kingdom. It's important. It's important that you understand that you'll gain something. You will gain something if you do that. So, here's what you need to do. If there's a decision that comes up where you're realizing that, hey, if I make this decision right here, I very well could lose a lot of things, maybe even a little bit of things, but I'll lose something within this world that I want, that I like, that I don't want to lose. You have to really think, well, is what you're gaining in the spiritual more than what you're losing in the flesh? And oftentimes, you're going to realize that what you're gaining in the spirit is going to be better. Now, you got to be careful, though, because sometimes you think you're going to be gaining so much here, but you're really just destroying things for yourself in the world, right? And you're not really gaining much in the spirit anyways, right? Like, for example, you might even lose stuff in the spiritual. For example, you tell someone off, right? You're like, this is a common thing. You're at your workplace and you tell someone off because they're being super, like they're being a weirdo, right? They're being rude or whatever it is, doing some malpractice, bad stuff, right? You tell them off. Maybe your boss is being like that, and they fire you, right? That's a situation where you just got you lost, and depending on what you did, can really depend on if it was worth doing or not. You know what I mean? Like, was there another option there? Did you have to say that at that moment? Could you have waited? Could you have said it in a nicer way? Could you have, done some other thing about it? Could you have not confronted them and figured it out another type of way? Is it so bad that you had to solve the whole problem yourself? Could you just got out the situation? You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to really gauge that. You got to really understand everything about it. You got to really understand the situation you're in and be like, hey, is it worth it? And I can't tell you if it's worth it because I ain't you, and I'm not in your situation. That's something for you to decide. That's your decision at the end of the day. Of course, take it up with God, let him know. You know what I'm saying? Ask him for guidance, but at the end of the day, that's up to you. That's your decision. So you got to look at the situation and be critical about it. And say, hey, am I gaining something from that? Am I losing something from that? And what I'm gaining and losing, is what I'm gaining worth it to lose what I'm losing? And sometimes there's going to be points in time where losing what you lose in that moment, and losing that is worth it for what you can gain. Now I'll give an example, a common example of losing something, but you'll gain something. And something simple as this. It's really just that common. Losing pleasure to gain discipline. And it's interesting because it's something that I ain't even working on. I'll go ahead and add this real quick. A lot of things I talk about in these videos are things that I'm also currently working on. So I never talk like I know. I did say that in the last video, but I never talk like I know it all, or like I'm like some hot shot, like I'm doing everything perfectly. All right. I think I said that in one of my videos about foolishness. Man's wisdom is foolishness to God or something. Yeah, I didn't really go too in depth in that, but yeah, that's another thing. I ain't him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know it all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't claiming I'm perfect or nothing. Or that I figured all this out. It's all stuff that I'm still working on. And there's even stuff in previous videos, like lots of previous videos. Of these videos I'm still working on. I still ain't got it. So, I mean, there's plenty I still ain't got. You know what I'm saying? That I ain't perfect like that. So I'm working on it too. But it's also a thing you gotta realize that when you lose something, you can gain something good. And when the common situation where you are losing pleasure but you're gaining discipline, it's hard to kind of see. It's simple, but it's hard to see. Because sometimes it's hard to see when that applies. When you're supposed to do that. Or what even specifically you're supposed to sacrifice. I feel like that's something that you really got to analyze your life and your habits and what you do and decide what is it that needs to go and what is it that needs to stay and what is it that is hurting me and what is it that's not hurting me, because there's certain pleasurable things that aren't hurting you, like like, oh, I'm resting. Okay, something wrong with resting? You're resting while doing something that you like. Something wrong with that? But there's that, and then there's I'm resting, but you're just procrastinating. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference, right? There's a difference. One's you just resting, one's you just procrastinating. There's a difference. We all been stuck up in procrastination. You know what I'm saying? I'm procrastinating right now. We record this video. Just kidding. This video stopped me from procrastinating. You know what I'm saying? That's currently what we're doing right now. But anyways, like I was saying, sorry. Like I was saying, sometimes you don't have to understand that that's even a simple example of how would just happen. There's something you lose. Maybe that's that instant gratification, and maybe you gain some discipline, or you lose some of your time. You have to, you have to, or you have to do something that you don't like or hurt, or your body has to strain itself. You have to be tired in the process. You have to work hard at something, but you gain something out of it. A common thing like this would be either your job or like your house chores or just errands you run. Things you do daily. You know what I mean? Like, when you do something, a lot of times if it takes a lot of effort, you're going to get some type of reward out of it, whether it's work or anything else. So sometimes you got to do hard work and then get some out of it. I mean, that's about it. So that's another example, right? That's another example right there. That's also a more common example. But then there's kind of like those weird ones that go into like, well, if I say this thing or I do this thing, what will I get out of it? And it goes into a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's case by case. It's case by case. So that's why I have for this one. I don't know where else to take this topic. It's kind of what I got for this for now. But yeah, remember that sometimes you're gonna have to take a loss. You have to take a setback. In the world maybe. Maybe you're gonna have to lose an opportunity or lose something. Something that was offered to you. The world may put up a thing that you may want. You want this fame. You want this adoration. You want this opportunity right here in the world. And sometimes depending, right? It's up to the situation. Sometimes you have to give that up to gain something else. And I don't have any like very hard ones off top. Some hard situations, but you'll come by them where you're gonna have to sacrifice something. That opportunity that you wanted, that that promotion you wanted, that thing that the world is offering you, that fame, that adoration, that acceptance, that paycheck. So sometimes you have to get rid of certain things to gain something else. And then sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes you have to give up other things to gain certain things. For example, I said money. Sometimes you have to give up money to gain something in the spiritual. But also sometimes you're going to have to give up something in the world to get something else in the world. So you give up your time to get money. That's how, for example, jobs work. You give up time, you gain money. So that's also a sacrifice thing. That's you lose type of thing. Sometimes you got to lose something. Sometimes you got to sacrifice something. You got to sacrifice your time to get something else. These are things you got to do. And you got to go case by case, right? Like you really got to, and it's hard too. So sometimes you're gonna mess up, and that's okay. But you gotta understand that you will have to lose certain things. You'll have to. Some things you're just gonna have to lose. But you will always gain something spiritual in the afterlife. You always gain as long as you put your trust in the cross. You will always gain eternal life. And in that sense, even if you lose all the things, even if you make all those bad decisions, you lose this, you lose that, and you didn't gain much here, you didn't gain much there, you didn't gain much there, nothing. You didn't gain nothing from it, you just made a bad decision. As long as you're still trusting in God at the end of the day, you trust in that cross, hey, still got eternity waiting for you, bro. That's all I'm saying. So, hey, that's just in the case, you're thinking like, oh no, I lost all my opportunities. Like, it don't matter. It's cool. Like, you did your best. Maybe you lost your opportunities. You messed up. Try again next time. If you don't succeed, you still got eternity waiting for you. But try to succeed. Try. Try to make that correct decision. To lose something to gain another. To lose something in the world, especially, in order to gain something in the spiritual. These are important things. Understand them. All of us need to think on these things. In this situation, is it worth losing this thing to gain this other thing? And the gains should be prioritizing spiritual gains. And the losses is prioritizing worldly losses in exchange for those spiritual gains. That's the good rule of thumb I would say you use. So, like I said, it is case by case, right? It is case by case where sometimes you lose this thing. It's better to do this thing for a moment because you'll gain this thing later. And it's like, it depends, right? But yeah, like I said, you really got to understand that some things, when you lose them, it was meant to happen. You got to lose them. You got to lose some things. You got to give up some things to gain some other things. Sometimes you got to give up your pride. Sometimes you have to give up being the best. Sometimes you have to give up, like in my case, some views, right? Some adoration, some people's opinions, thinking that what you did was what they wanted and they really liked that. Giving up their adoration so you can stay true to yourself and gain that spiritualness and be able to spread your message in the way that you want to spread it. Sometimes you gotta give up that opportunity that you didn't expect to have to give up, but you got to give it up to gain something more and spiritual. Sometimes you have to gain that hate from men. Sometimes you have to gain that persecution, that hate from men. You have to gain those, you have to get those evil looks, those confused, weirded out looks, those oh, this guy weird looks. Sometimes you have to get those. Sometimes you have to get those insults thrown at you. You have to give all that. You have to get those laughs. People laughing at the word of God. Sometimes you have to get those. Sometimes people have to, you have to get that in exchange for the spiritual. In exchange for the spiritual. Sometimes you have to give those up. You have to give up wanting all this worldly stuff. Sometimes you have to give it up in exchange for what you can gain in the spiritual. Sometimes you will just have to. This is what happens when you preach the gospel. You're going to have to give up the need to reach everyone. You have to give up the need to save everyone. You're going to have to give up the pride. You have to come humbly before God in that process. And humbly before man even. But confident in the Lord as well. You have to give up needing that adoration. You're gonna have to. There's gonna be times where you're gonna have to even accept the rock stone, getting stoned. You're gonna have to accept that. Theoretically. So, metaphorically. I mean, like maybe not actually getting stoned, but you maybe gonna have to get stoned. You have to take up your cross. Sometimes you're going to have to take up that cross. Get stoned. Get insults thrown at you. Get told that you're wrong. Get told that you're stupid. That you're foolish. That you're the one in the wrong. Get that hate thrown at you. Get that finger wagging pointed at you, telling you, "Ooh, don't you dare, don't you dare. Don't do this. Don't do this, but do this. Don't do that, but do that. Don't do that, but do that. Don't do that, but do this." Sometimes you're going to have to take that. Now, obviously, there's going to be times where the advice is actually pretty good. But what I'm saying, I'm more talking about the specific situation where you're preaching the gospel. I'm being kind of specific. So when you're preaching the gospel, sometimes you have to take someone saying, "Oh, I don't like the way you preach. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me the word of God. Leave me alone. Take it back to your church." Hey, sometimes you got to deal with that type of stuff. So that's basically what I'm saying here. But anyways, that's my message. And make sure that you understand that sometimes you got to lose stuff. But the main thing is that you're losing something to gain something else. And even if you don't gain something, you made your mistake, you lost something, but you didn't gain. There's still next time, and there's still eternity waiting for you as well. Keep your head up, kings and queens, and I'll see you in the next video where I do another unhinged rant, unscripted, and I don't make a reaction, reacting to some like random thing, and like saying, "Wow, this is cool, guys. You like my video? I reacted to a thing. The people liked it, right? Yeah, you liked my video. Yeah. I was just reacting to things. I didn't really care about what I was reacting to, but I was just kind of like reacting. You guys like that? Oh, you gave it a like too. Yeah, you just got it because you like that. Okay. I ain't doing all that. All right. Maybe I'll do a skit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll do a skit or more of these videos or something else. I'm just doing whatever, to be honest. Anyways, that's my video. I just had something to talk about. I more talked about this other stuff. Other stuff was on my mind, but I'm more added in my specific example because it was something that I was thinking about. I was kind of worrying. I was thinking, what if these videos that I'm making are not good? What if they're not good? And they're not what I should be making. And I thought about it. And I thought, it's like, at the end of the day, it's just like that last video I said. You know, it's me. It's me. You know, sometimes you gotta accept that. It also is me to edit. I can edit too. You know, I'm also an editor, but I'm just saying this is also me. You know, so you know, me kind of has a spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So some things are me and some things are also me. But anyways, I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. No one cares. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and pop off. I hope you got my message of this video. If you didn't, it is what it is. I'm just here trying to just say my piece, and you could go ahead, take and do what you want with it. But like uh, W, yeah, W, do your thing, and yeah, keep it pushing. See ya. Yeah, I said see ya. Um, it's the end of the video. I mean, I know I could end it, but like, I'm just like wondering, like, you really stayed to the end of the. Okay. I mean, that if that's what you're trying to do, well, that or you skip to here. But like, why are you here? I mean, we know why I'm here. I'm recording the video. That's about it. But why are you here? I don't know. Maybe you should exit the video now. Hmm? Exit the video. Exit the video. Maybe you should exit the video now. I'm sorry. Just exit the video. Just get out of here. I mean, I ain't hating. I ain't even hating on you for being here. Like you, it's cool. Like, but like you don't gotta be here. Like you just like leave. I'm leaving now. All right. Make sure you leave too. Once I leave, leave at the exact second I leave. I'm gonna count down. 3, 2, 1. You didn't leave. What didn't I say? Count. I said 3. I said 3 to 1. You should have left when I got to 1. I'll do it again. When I get to 1, you gonna have to leave. 3, 2, 1. You didn't leave. You didn't leave. You didn't leave. Some of y'all left. Some of y'all left, but you didn't leave. All right, one more time. 3, 2,